Skol Vikings Nation. What's good, purple people? Buckle up, because today we're diving into some electrifying Minnesota Vikings news that's got the fan base buzzing. Our secondary is looking like a turnover machine, and there's one name stealing the spotlight: Isaiah Rodgers. This guy's got big dreams, and he's not afraid to shout it from the rooftops. Ready for a wild ride through the latest Vikings updates? Let's talk about Rodgers' insane interception goals and why our defense could be the talk of the NFL in 2025. Picture this. It's March, and the Vikings make a splash in free agency, signing cornerback Isaiah Rodgers. This isn't just any signing. This is a guy who's got the coaches and teammates raving about his skills. The buzz around Rodgers is unreal, and it's not hard to see why. With his speed, footwork, and knack for the ball, he's locked in as an every-down starter alongside our Pro Bowl star, Byron Murphy Jr. So, what's got everyone so hyped about this guy? Stick around, because this is just the beginning. Here's the teaser that's got me pumped. Rodgers recently dropped a bombshell about his goals for the 2025 season, and it's got fans like us losing our minds. Want to know what he said? What do you think makes a cornerback elite in today's NFL? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's unpack this together. All right, Vikings fans, let's get into the juicy details. Isaiah Rodgers, our new cornerback, isn't just talking the talk. He's got a plan to make history. When asked about his interception goals for the 2025 season, he casually dropped, "I put 15 in my notes. Just in case, if I fell a little short for it, still probably get 10. 15 picks? 10? That's not just confidence. That's straight-up audacity." Can you imagine the U.S. Bank Stadium crowd roaring after Rodgers snags pick after pick? Let's put this in perspective. 15 interceptions would shatter the NFL single-season record set by Hall of Famer Dick "Night Train" Lane, who had 14 back in 1952. Nobody's even hit 12 since Lester Hayes grabbed 13 in 1980. In the 2000s, only 9 players have reached double digits, with Trayvon Diggs' 11 in 2021 being the most recent. Rodgers has just 3 career picks, all from 2021, but he's stepping into a full-time role with the Vikings for the first time. Is this guy dreaming big, or does he know something we don't? What do you think, Skol Squad? Is Rodgers goal crazy, or could he actually pull it off? Let's hear your predictions in the comments. Up next, we're diving into what makes Rodgers such a special addition to our defense. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Vikings Nation, let's talk about what makes Isaiah Rodgers a game-changer. This guy's skill set is straight out of a defensive coordinator's dream. Teammate Byron Murphy Jr. couldn't stop gushing about him, saying, "Footwork, for sure. Definitely has speed, can run with anybody. Ball skills, too. He can go up there and get interceptions." Even coach Matt Daniels hinted that Rodgers might have better ball skills than Murphy. That's high praise when you're talking about a guy who just made the Pro Bowl. Rodgers has been turning heads all off-season. From his days with the Colts and Eagles, he's shown flashes of brilliance. But now he's got a chance to shine as a full-time starter. Head coach Kevin O'Connell is all in on him, saying, "He's probably one of the faster players on our team, ultra-consistent, confident, never off balance, never panics. Pair that with Brian Flores' aggressive defensive scheme, and you've got a recipe for chaos in the secondary." Can you picture Rodgers picking off a pass from Aaron Rodgers in our rivalry game against the Packers? What's the one skill you think is most important for a cornerback to dominate? Speed, smarts, or ball skills? Drop it in the comments, and let's keep the hype train rolling. Next up, we're breaking down how Rodgers fits into our already stacked secondary. Skol Vikings fans, our defense was a turnover machine last season, and 2025 could be even crazier. The Vikings led the NFL with 24 interceptions in 2024, and our secondary was the heart of it. Byron Murphy Jr. was a beast, snagging 6 picks, tied for 3rd in the league, and earning a Pro Bowl nod. Harrison Smith, the NFL's active leader in career interceptions with 37, added 3 more. Now, throw Isaiah Rodgers into this mix, and we might be looking at something special. Rodgers might not hit his lofty goal of 15 picks. Let's be real, that's a tall order. but even 4 or 5 would make him a star in Minnesota. The last Vikings corner to have a season like that was Jimmy Hitchcock with 7 in 1998. Rodgers' confidence and playmaking ability could make him a sneaky candidate to lead the team in interceptions. With Flores' scheme putting pressure on quarterbacks, Rodgers is in the perfect spot to capitalize. Can you imagine him jumping a route for a pick six? What's your bold prediction for our secondary this season? Will Rodgers outshine Murphy? Let's hear it in the comments. Next, we're diving into how Rodgers' addition changes our defensive strategy. Stay tuned. All right, Purple people, let's talk strategy. Defensive coordinator Brian Flores has built a system that thrives on creating chaos. And Isaiah Rodgers fits like a glove. Flores loves to blitz and pressure quarterbacks, forcing them into mistakes. With Rodgers' speed and ball skills, he's the perfect weapon to lurk in the secondary, waiting for those rushed throws. This isn't just about one player, it's about a defense that's ready to dominate. Last season, our cornerbacks accounted for 9 of the team's 24 picks, with Murphy leading the charge. Rodgers, who's been on Flores' radar since his college days at UMass, brings a new dynamic. As Kevin O'Connell said, Rodgers' consistency and confidence mean he's never caught out of position. Pair him with Murphy, who can play both outside and in the slot, and you've got a versatile duo that can match up against any receiver in the league. Who do you think will be the toughest receiver for our secondary to cover this year? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep this energy going. Up next, we're looking at how Rodgers' past shapes his future with the Vikings. This is getting good. Vikings Nation, let's take a step back and look at Isaiah Rodgers' journey. This guy's no stranger to the NFL, having played 45 games with the Colts from 2020 to 2022, where he racked up 3 interceptions in 2021. He also returned 61 kickoffs for a 27.0-yard average, including a 101-yard touchdown. After a stint with the Eagles in 2024, where he started 3 games and played in all 4 postseason contests, he's ready for a breakout year in Minnesota. Rodgers' path hasn't been without challenges. He missed the 2023 season due to a suspension for violating the NFL's gambling policy, but he's put that behind him. Now, with a fresh start in Minnesota, he's got a mentor in his cousin, NFL legend Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, and a coaching staff that believes in him. His 2024 season with Philly showed his potential, with 24 tackles, for passes defensed, and a 40-yard fumble recovery in the playoffs. What's the biggest thing you think Rodgers needs to prove in 2025? Let's hear your take in the comments. Next, we're exploring how Rodgers stacks up against our other new additions in the secondary. Keep it locked. Skol, Skol, Skol. The Vikings didn't just stop with Rodgers. They went all in on revamping the secondary for 2025. Alongside Rodgers, we've got newcomers like Jeff Okudah, Khalif Hailassie, Reddy Stewart, and Ambry Thomas, plus the return of Mekhi Blackmon from injury. But Rodgers is the one generating the most buzz, and for good reason. His blend of speed, instincts, and playmaking ability makes him a cornerstone of this group. Compare that to Byron Murphy Jr., who's coming off a career year with 6 interceptions and 14 passes defensed. Murphy's versatility and leadership set the tone, but Rodgers brings a different flavor with his raw athleticism. The competition between these two could push our defense to new heights. As Murphy himself said, he's got to step up to match Rodgers' ball skills. Who do you think will lead the Vikings in interceptions this season? Rodgers, Murphy, or someone else? Drop your predictions in the comments, and let's keep the hype alive. Up next, we're talking about the risks and rewards of Rodgers' bold goals. You won't want to miss this. All right, Vikings fans, let's get real for a second. Isaiah Rodgers' goal of 15 interceptions is bold, maybe even a little crazy, but that's what makes it so exciting. The reality? Hitting double digits would be a massive achievement. Only 9 players this century have done it, and Rodgers would need a perfect storm of opportunity and execution. But even if he falls short at 4 or 5 picks, as the experts say, that's still a stellar season for a first-year starter in Minnesota. The risk here is high expectations. Rodgers is coming off a limited role in Philly, and while his skills are undeniable, he's got to prove he can handle the pressure of being an every-down corner. The Vikings' investment in him, $7.5 million a year, shows they believe he's up to the task. With Flores' scheme and a talented secondary around him, the stage is set. What's the one thing you think could hold Rodgers back from reaching his potential? Let's talk about it in the comments. Next, we're looking at how the Vikings' secondary stacks up against the rest of the NFL. This is huge, Skol Nation. Vikings Nation, let's zoom out and look at the big picture. The Vikings secondary led the NFL with 24 interceptions last season, and with Rodgers joining the crew, we could be even better in 2025. Teams like the Packers, Lions, and Bears are loading up with offensive weapons, but our defensive backfield is ready to answer. From Harrison Smith's veteran savvy to Murphy's playmaking to Rodgers' speed, this group has it all. The key will be how well this unit gels. With so many new faces, chemistry is crucial. Brian Flores is a master at getting his players to play as a unit, and his unselfish philosophy is already rubbing off. Rodgers himself said he's meshing well with Murphy and Smith, and that group text they've got going for celebration ideas, that's the kind of vibe that wins games. What's your dream celebration for a Rodgers pick six? Share your ideas in the comments, and let's keep the energy high. We're almost at the end, but first, let's wrap up with what this means for the Vikings season. Skol, Vikings fans, we're at the finish line, and I'm fired up. Isaiah Rodgers is bringing a new level of swagger to our secondary, and with Byron Murphy Jr., Harrison Smith, and Brian Flores calling the shots, the Vikings are poised to make quarterbacks' lives miserable in 2025. Whether Rodgers hits his wild goal of 15 picks or settles for a still impressive 4 or 5, he's going to be a name to watch. This defense could be the key to a deep playoff run. As we head into training camp, the excitement is palpable. Rodgers' bold prediction has set the tone, and the entire Vikings nation is ready to see him back it up. Will he break records? Will he outshine Murphy? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure. This season is going to be a wild ride. What's your biggest hope for the Vikings in 2025? Drop it in the comments, and let's get this conversation popping. If you're as hyped as I am, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with every Vikings fan you know. Skol Vikings. Let's make some noise this season.